Alright, are we recording? Yeah. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, fellow acolytes and worm-interested people. This is another episode about Wurm Unlimited with a small tutorial. Today I want to go over the topic of farming, nutrition, hydration and well-being in general. So let's start out with farming. First, a little explanation. When you start Wurm, either on local server or somewhere else, you'll find that you have a nutrition bar, which is colored yellow or green or orange, depending on how much nutrition you have inside your body. Because Wurm differentiates between having your stomach full and having nutritious meals. So in Wurm you can eat tomatoes until your belly is full. But your nutrition value is then really low. So when you're starting out, you probably will just eat raw crops or something like that. And then your food bar will be 100%, but your nutrition bar value, there's no bar, will be 10% or less. And with what this means is you will complete actions slower and your food bar will deplete faster, because it's like McDonald's, you know? You go in there, eat 3 cheeseburgers, oh, I'm full. 10 minutes later, I'm hungry. And yeah, Wurm is similar. So, I don't want to spoil too much for you, so I'm just telling you, to go farming you need a rake. You can always open your crafting recipe book by pressing N on your keyboard and then just write in rake, and then you know what you'll need to create a rake. You don't particularly need a rake, but you will significantly enlarge your yield on your crops if you use a rake on them, because there will be weeds, and if you don't pick them, the quality of your crops and of the soil will lower and you have a lower yield. So let's go foraging for a bit. So we're looking for grass tiles. I'm having the mouse look currently activated while running around. If I found a grass tile that's nice, I click on it, so I've got it in my target, and click on forage. And let's see what we can find. We find a lettuce. Okay, so let's look into our inventory. So we found a lettuce. Let's see. Okay, a lettuce is a plant you can't directly put into the soil. So you have to decide, do you want to eat 0.5 kilos of lettuce, or do you want to pick seeds? So if you pick seeds, you find a status message, you pick the lettuce for seeds, ruining it. Later on, if you are more skilled in gardening or farming, you have the chance to pick the seeds and leave the item intact, but as we are just starting out, you'll probably ruin your lettuce. So now we have got some lettuce seeds, so let's go foraging a bit more. For experimenting purposes, ivy seedling, okay, it's just a bush, so you can put it right down back in earth. For experimenting purposes, I set my field growth timer to a minute, so now my crops will grow very, very fast. Oh nice, a sugar beet. So yeah, they will grow pretty fast. In a normal game session, depending on the server, each growth stage of a crop is between 1 and 5 hours. So if your server admin set it to 5 hours, it'll be pretty realistic. There are 5 growth stages, each will take 5 hours, so your crops will be ripe in about exactly 1 day. And by playing on a server, it's pretty neat to not have to come back on the same day. But you still have to tend, or have someone to tend for your crops, picking out the weeds. There are hyper-realistic servers which have a growth stage timer of 1 day. So yeah, that's it. Alright, last session we found some vamp plants, so I'm picking the seeds for that as well. And now we've found some pea pods, and I'm picking the seed as well. Pea pods, the seed is a pea, so you can still eat the pea, but yeah, you have to look and watch out. It's the seed of the pea pod. Okay. So let's see. You can plant seeds only on loose dirt, I would say, because if you have a shovel, which no worries, in the beginning you won't have them, you can pack dirt by clicking on pack, and then your character will start flattening it and hardening it with its shovel, and now it's packed. And packed dirt is actually the first kind of a road, which we'll do in later episode, but you can walk faster on a packed dirt. But you can plant nothing. So with your rake, if you have one, yeah, with your rake you can cultivate, and this will soften the soil again, and there you go. Normally, let's see, by taking some, yeah, normally you'd have to cut grass with a tool. I don't know if it's able with a crude axe to cut down. So I guess you need a shovel or at least a rake to cultivate. Yeah, but with your crude shovel, what you can do is just click on cultivate as well, or gather grass. Anyway, so let's see, we've got 4 seeds, so we need 4 patches of field, of course. Queuing up my actions here. And also keep an eye on my blue hydration bar, and you will see it will lower slowly but steadily. So, alright, we've got our 4 patches of field for now, so we're taking our pea and plant it. I'm not very good at farming yet, and this is why my sowing takes so long. So, and then we have our lettuce seed, we sow it in. So normally when tending for a field or having something sown, and you don't have a rake or something, it's not that bad. Still, if you don't tend for weeds or get rid of weeds in your field, your yield of crops will still be 2 times what you've sown. So 2, because you only sow 1 seed. So another cute little detail, as you will notice, is that in Wurm, you see each plant has its own sprite, which is really nice. So by double clicking on the feed, or having the rake activated as a tool with low farming skill, you should be able, to see what is there. So there we have sugar beets sprouting, and it's untended. With really low farming you can't see it's untended, but you can see it by looking at the sprite that the field is in this order. So let's tend to it real quick. I don't know if I will manage until they've all grown up, because you see it reached the next growth stage already. So this yield would be pretty low, I guess, because each growth stage is having one stage of having weeds. So you can get a maximum yield of 4, but later you can fertilize and further further enlarging your wheel. Sorry, I was startled a bit. Okay, so our sugar beets are growing really well. Also, plants have different growth stages. So now it says our field is halfway done. So let's tend to them. Raising our rake skill. Rake is another skill you have to raise, not only farming. Farming is the knowledge of your crops, but the rake is the skill to tend to fields. Because if you can't manage to use a rake, well, it's no use then. Alright, lettuce seems almost right. Halfway done. Okay, getting larger. Oh, wham! No weeds, no weeds, no weeds. Nice. Now, so we can sit here and watch the crops grow. If you leave your crops on the field for too long, you will see that the last growth stage lasts 2 timer cycles, so it's not that bad if you are not right away there when the stuff is ripe. But the next growth timer has a reduced yield, because some of your crops will be overripe, and if you wait longer your field will just decay. And at the beginning it's really hard to lose seeds, because your stomach is empty most of the time and you can't really waste anything. Let's look in my bag. Sugar beet is ripe. Oh, look at how large these. So we are farming them. Most of the crops can be harvested just by plucking them out. Some of them need for you to have a sickle, like wheat. But I'll come to that later. Alrighty. So as you can see, by tending to our fields we put up the output or the yield of our sugar beets and our pea pods up to 3. The lettuce and the vamp plants stayed at 2, because we missed some of the de-weeding stages. Alright. Why am I so slow? Let me check. 70. My whole inventory was 67. Let's see if I get rid of these eggs. Yeah, alright. I'm just too heavy. Also, Wurm is a game which rewards being tidy. So I'm putting my pumpkins in my inventory to show you something. I'll take the wheat out because I want some wheat. Put the pea pods in and the lettuce. Alright, so by chucking everything in a crate, well, that's your thing, but if you have items lying on the ground and they are of one kind, Wurm will automatically generate a pile for you. So you see, a pile of pumpkin has 4 pumpkins, even if there are only 3 of them in, but it's really nice and you can use to decorate it. So if we open this pile of pumpkins and take one out, there's only 2 pumpkins lying on the same spot. So that's that. And this is happening with everything you drop down. Let's see. Yeah, so a pile of mixed grass is like a haystack, basically. But keep in mind, items laying on the bare ground will decay really fast, and if they are in a chest, it'll help stop decaying them. Or in a container, that is. Okay, so I'm sowing the wheat right now for our next segment, because wheat is a crop which will need a sickle to harvest, or probably it will suffice if you have a rake, but there's also a scythe, so I think you're best off with a sickle. Yeah, so real life farming, huh? If you really neatly sow them and 2 days later you come back to your field and all your crops are yeah. So now we have to wait until our wheat is ready, but don't worry. So, because we are just standing here, my hydration bar will not deplete very fast, but you see we are at 82% of water. So, always keep an eye out on it, because you won't die if your hydration bar is empty, but your stamina will deplete faster and refill slower. Actually, let's just run around for a bit after we tended to this field, of course. And watch our stamina. And you see, if you're depleting your stamina, it won't come back, so to speak. So as long as you are using stamina, it will deplete. So let's climb up this steep hill, because you see this uses much more stamina than just running. Now if I pause and rest for some time, you'll see the stamina will come back in like waves. So if I stand, you see it'll rip. And these waves get tinier the more dehydrated you get. So for example, if you are mining or climbing on a rock or a hill, your hydration should be nearly full, because if you have to rest, you have to rest. So if your stamina is low, you really have to rest, and then it's just refilling in tiny bits, all while you're hurting because you fell down the rock when your stamina reached 0. Yeah, so you can really die out there, as always. Oh, and also I've enabled only passive creatures, so there's a horse in the background or a sheep. If there would be aggressive creatures, I would die in 2 minutes. Okay, let's tend to it. Also, if you have a low farming skill, your tending and removing the weeds won't have that much of an effect. There's a chance you will enlarge the yield of your crop, but it's not a guaranteed. So you need to have at least 25 of farming to really be able to tend to your field. So if you're playing on a server and there is already a farmer, he's guaranteed to have more and better crops than you. So if you have like an economy setup and you need wheat, it's best to pay for some wheat than going through the trouble of sowing it for your own and then have low quality. Okay, now it's ripe and you see we can't really harvest it until we have our sickle activated. Oh, we need our guide. Okay, sorry. I don't know where. Ah, there it is. Sorry. Okay, so we take our side out and harvest it. Alright, we managed to get a yield of 3 wheat. Nice. Okay, so I will put 2 back in our crate. So, what to do with wheat? Because you won't really eat the wheat raw as it is. Which brings us to cooking. Now, let me take this log. So I'll try and make another campfire. So you've seen me activating the kindling and right-clicking the wood scrap, clicking on create and furnaces campfire. You can also always open your crafting window and put things in. You see? There. So you don't have to click through the menus, but sometimes it's just faster to do it right on the spot. Okay, so creating a campfire is depending on your fire making skill. Mine's at 5, so we are lucky. Now, as last time, I'm activating the log. Right click the fire and click on burn, and I'm getting another log and my saucepan as well. Stuff just lying around here. Alright, burn another log, and just by burning a log it isn't guaranteed your fire is actually staying on longer. The logs I've burned were 0.75 kilos in weight, so they won't burn for long, but it shall suffice. Okay, now what to do? You've grown some crops. You could always take your pumpkin, open the fire and put it in, and sometime later you will see it gets a little temperature indicator, and then you'll have a roasted pumpkin. At least that's how it goes in the last patch. Let's try it out. But you can also craft the saucepan, put it in the fire, and now the saucepan has its own internal inventory. So you can heat it up, or you can just put a tomato in and any other berry you can find. So now, if you examine the saucepan, is it actually examine? I think it's lower, yeah. Genau. So, if you click on lore, you will get the result of what will happen with the items. So you see, a tomato and a berry will make a wax stew when cooked. If I put the berry out and click on lore, you see, have you tried adding any fish? Yeah, so you get ideas what to do. Is there another message? Let's check that out. No, okay. Because if you add any kind of meat, you also get a stew, but with meat in it, it has a higher nutritional value. Alright, so now we're cooking. So let me tell you something about difficulty. If you click on lore again, you see this dish has a difficulty of 10, because each vegetable or fruit adds 5 to the difficulty. Plus your fire adds also 5 to difficulty, so the first item is free. Yeah. So this item has a cooking difficulty of 10, and let's see, F2 was skills. My cooking is at 2, and Wurmpedia says you can make food up to 10 points higher than your cooking skill. You can make much higher food, but firstly it will probably not generate, so it will stay in the pan or in the cooking pot, whatever you're using, and won't generate the food. They are glowing hot, the items, but they won't melt together, so to speak. And if it happens, so let's say you have cooking 1 and your food has a difficulty of 20, it will probably cook, but you won't get any experience. So now you can see every time the letters are green, it says your skill has risen up. So our food cooking has gone up 0.15 skill points because we cooked the wax stew. Okay, so now we can get our pan out of the fire, and our wax stew is hot, so let's just eat it right away, and you can take a look at our food bar. I'll go there with the mouse either. So you see our food bar is rising, but you will also see that our nutrition value will sink. Oh no, it's still rising. Okay, that's good. But I'll eat the roasted pumpkin then, and you'll see that it sinks. Alright, so now our pumpkin is roasted. So you see, if you don't have a pan ready, you can still roast things. Also, you can see that our food bar is not really that higher up. That's because stew or soup as a meal isn't really belly filling, even if we just ate 0.8 liters of soup. So let's eat our 1 kilogram roasted pumpkin. And you see our food bar is rising again, but our nutrition value is dropping really fast because, well, you eat a roasted vegetable, vegetables are only 80% of water, so yeah, that's that. Alright, so you're probably asking yourself, well, okay, what can I do? Meals are too hard, I don't want any wax stew. You have 2 options. You could say, okay, I will make some bread. Actually, let's get me another piece of wheat. Oh no, let's take some barley out because we are going gluten-free today. Okay. Yeah, two options there. First, make a grindstone. So if you look up grindstone, it's not too hard. And you need a stone chisel and some rock shards. And the stone chisel is a handle and a chisel blade. So probably doable if you already have this small anvil. Alright, so activate your grindstone and then right click on anything you want to grind. So here it's create food and barley flour, difficulty 5 it says. Okay, and we've got some barley flour. And now I will do the same to my wheat. Just create food, wheat flour. So this is the cooking difficulty. You also can examine it. Oh, you can actually eat flour. That's interesting. Alright, now we have two flours for sakes of differentiating. So I also made a small bucket because let's take it new player style. You won't have a barrel filled with water in it, I guess. So let's walk down to the lake. You probably know what we are going to do already, but yeah. Go to the lake. Let's see. Yeah, you need some kind of container. So let's use our small bucket, activate it and fill. Right click the button fill or click on the water tile and click on fill. We can drink as well, because this is a lake, it's no salt water. Alright, now we have water inside the bucket. Now we can activate the water. Right click our flour and create dough. And as you can see, the barley dough has a difficulty, the cooking difficulty of 10. So if I add a vegetable, my meal now has a difficulty of 15 because of the campfire where we're cooking it. So I would at least need 1.5 in cooking. Alright, let's do the same to our wheat flour, because we still have water left. It also doesn't matter if you activate the flour or activate the water, it's all the same. Oops. Okay, so now our skills, baking increased to 3 and milling also as well. So, as you can see, I did not cook very much in my last playthrough. Okay, now inventory is really full and we are slowed down as hell. We are slowed down to the point of not being able to climb. So bear with me here. Would be interesting to see if we can actually just plug the barley dough into the campfire without any pan or other cooking utensil. Oh no. Deactivated too soon. Yeah, that's enough. Alright. I'm dropping the lump of iron. And the pumpkins as well. Sorry, I have to sneeze. Oh, okay, it's gone. But it will come back, I guess. Yeah. I forgot my microphone, so sorry. Sound will be a bit wonky. I hope you will still be able to hear me. All right. So we're back up. In our saucepan, I'll combine the barley dough. And if I click lore, have you tried adding any berry? It says no. But you can look up the recipes on the Wurmpedia as well. Ah, we need some wood for our fire. Let's take our branches from last time. Alright, we chucked in some barley dough. And now let's see if we still have some berries lying around. Yeah, I know there's a strawberry, but I think only foraged berries will do. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so you see, we need a whack and a berry to make a stew, but the dough will make a thicker stew. Sorry. Okay, so let's add the pea pot, I guess. So if we say lore. Ah, you think this may well work when cooked in a cooker, but we don't have a cooker. That's not so good. Let's take out the carrot. Lore? When cooked in a cooker. Okay, I guess I need a soup pot or something like that. But it's a saucepan, alright. Let's just try it out. Aha, now it says, you think this may well work when cooked, because the difficulty, you know, without the fire it was 11, 6 for the dough, 5 for the berry and vegetable, and now plus 5 into the fire. So this food item is scratching the border of our cooking skills. So you can say your nutrition value will rise with your cooking skill, because only with high cooking skills you can make more nutritional stuff. Also, sorry again about the sound. I'll record the sound later and speak over the sound, if that's okay for you. If I can't raise the volume in the editor. Yeah, we'll see. Alright. Did I forget something about eating? Yeah, I did forget. When your food bar reaches 0, it will automatically fill up again, and your body will reduce its status by 1 layer of fat. So if we examine ourselves, if that's, yeah, here's our body, examine, and it says I have a normal build, which means I'm normally I'm normally fat, if you can say so. So I have currently 3 layers of fat on me. That's normal. So your food bar can drop to 0 3 times when you're just starting out, and then your character will die. You can also put on layers of fat. Ah, now you see, a wax stew with dumpling we've created, and it's also much higher in its volume. Our stew without dough had only 0.8 liters, and now we have 1.4 liters. So let's tuck on in. Also, each food has has a modifier to it. So if you, for example, eat wax stew with dumpling, you suddenly realize that you have an insight about small metal shields. So if you are working with small metal shields on a training dummy, you raise your metal shield skill faster. Okay, now you see our food bar is nice and full, but our nutrition has to regain itself from the pumpkin we ate. Alright, so if your food bar is over 90% for 3 days, you will add a new layer of fat. So it's very important for you to leave it drop down a little bit, so you can establish a normal eating routine, I guess. Yeah. So each time your food bar reaches 0, as I said, you lose a layer of fat, but you also gain a status effect calling ascesis, I guess, which means your food bar will drop to 0 now slower than before. So priests can really build onto that. So priests can basically meditate often enough to not lose any food anymore. Think of the Buddhist monks in Tibet. Alright, I don't think our dough is getting to a bread here, but we'll see. I'll just wait for another minute and then I guess I have to pour my stew on ground. What a waste of food. Sorry, third world, didn't mean it. Alright, I don't know if we can make bread in a saucepan. I guess it will ask us to add a berry. Yeah, or an egg. Oh, let's add an egg. Egg in it. Let's take the egg. Open the campfire, open the saucepan, add the egg. Flour. Do not make any known recipe. Well, thank you for that. I guess we still need some berries or something to add. Alright. If we look in our book, bread isn't in there. Seems okay though. So I have to read up on the Wurmpedia how to make bread. I guess bread can only be made in the oven. At least it would make sense. Well, alright. So, this concludes about the Wurm tutorial number 2, food and nutrition and hydration. So I hope you learned something and you had a bit of fun with our crazy fast growing crops and our very well cooked items. And I'll see you back on the next episode of Main Game Monday, or perhaps on the stream on this Sunday, October 22nd. Oh god. Yeah, on 20 o'clock Central European Standard Time, which means 14 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for you US people out there. And if you can't make it, I'm not mad at you. Yeah. And the next episode of our Wurm tutorial will come out on next Wednesday, as always. So, thank you for watching. Bye bye.